Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the vlog. I hope the start of your day is amazing. You know, a lot of people have been telling me lately I haven't been showing leopard geckos enough love. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think I don't show them enough love because they are truly amazing. This is one of my leopard gecko exhibits here at the Reptarium. We have a little super snow right here, and we have a little max snow right here. This guy is absolutely wonderful. This is one of the animals I take to all my educational shows because it's just so cool. And you know, when you're talking about a pet lizard, there's no doubt that leopard geckos rank up right up there with any other lizard, especially when you just get going into reptiles, because not only are they relatively easy to care for, but they're super plastic. They come in a ton of different colors. You can kind of get whatever you want, but I want to go over, before I start showing you some awesome leopard geckos, how we keep them. This is just our basic cage here at the Reptarium. They have a lot of areas that they can climb up on, and trust me, they spend a lot of time. As a matter of fact, this crevice right here, a lot of times I find them there. They love to climb, there's no doubt about it. So giving them little rocks to climb is a good thing. Of course, we have this little hiding box right here that is just, again, another little rock, and it has a little hole in it so they can go and hide in there. Then basically we have a water dish because, hey, listen, animals need water. Although I know a lot of people that keep leopard geckos and say, they never drink water, so I don't even give them water. But hey, I put water in with them because I think that's the way it is. But one of the things that makes them so cool is the ease of care. Basically what we have is a hot spot of about 90 to 92 degrees right over here. Now they can climb up, they can bask, they can get in here, they can go hide over here in the cool spot. Over here on this side of the cage, we've got 82 degrees. So again, hot spot 92, cold spot 82 degrees. Now they don't really need UVB, although we do provide UVB. Because they're nocturnal, oftentimes people don't use the UVB, which just makes them even a little bit better to keep. And then other than that, for us, we actually just feed them mealworms and superworms. You can feed them cockroaches, you can feed them crickets, all that other stuff, but we just use mealworms and superworms. What's really important is the vitamin part. These guys can get what they call NBD, which is metabolic bone disease. So we want to take a vitamin supplement and a calcium supplement. What we'll do is we'll take 3 parts of the vitamin supplement. We use a product called Vionate. You can use any multivitamin, and then we mix 1 part of calcium, and then we just literally dust the superworms. Then ultimately we just put the superworms in the enclosure, and that's it. So we always keep superworms in the enclosure with dust on them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's it. So they are absolutely incredible animals. They are great pets if you ever want to get into leopard geckos. And again, they come in a lot of colors, and trust me, we produce a lot of really cool ones. And like I mentioned, we produce some pretty cool leopard geckos. Of course, Jessica's the one that's really responsible for all of them, to be honest with you. I get a chance to just kind of come in here and admire them every now and then, and there are some beauties. Starting with this animal here, which I really like. This is actually a Max Snow Murphy's patternless. Now that Max Snow, of course, is incomplete dominant, has a super version, which is really cool. And then the Murphy's patternless is actually a recessive mutation. And you put them together, and it just has that kind of really cool gray look to it. It's got some yellows that come through. I think it's a really cool mutation. I love the combination of those two animals. Probably my favorite of the Murphy's patternless, to be honest with you. So this guy's growing up pretty cool and looking awesome. This is a cute little monkey right here. This is actually a white and yellow super hypo Max Snow Eclipse. And this actually comes from what we call our pied face group. So a lot of these come out with like pied faces, which is pretty cool, which is something that you see with the Eclipse and the Super Snow, of course. So nevertheless, this guy's really cool. Can't wait to see what it grows up to, because it's looking like it's going to be pretty awesome. Wowza, look at this little dude right here. This, of course, is a bold bell, which is the bell albino. Of course, there's 3 types of albinos, all incompatible with one another, but the bells are kind of my favorite, to be honest with you. And this is actually a bold bell, and it's also a white and yellow. So the white and yellow with the bell stuff is ridiculous. Then you put that bold pattern into it, and wow, look at that thing just glow. Woo-hoo, doggy, that thing is beautiful. And speaking of those 3 albinos, this is one of the ones that is kind of the most uncommon, which is called a rainwater albino. But this is a Max Snow rainwater. So there's a tremper, there's the bell, and then there's the rainwater. And like I'd mentioned, the rainwater just aren't out there as much. But weirdly enough, all of them look pretty similar, but they're incompatible. So if you breed any of them together, you're going to get all normal animals, and that's something you don't want to do. So you always want to know what lineage yours are. Is it a tremper, it's a bell, it's a rainwater. That way you don't accidentally breed it to another albino, produce a bunch of normals that are het, because then you're never going to know what the lineage is. Nevertheless, it's cool that we are working with some rainwater stuff, and we do keep all of our stuff very separate. I wanted to highlight a few of the projects that we're really working hard on, kind of the unique projects that we have going on here. This is kind of one of the original animals that we call a dark line, which is a really dark leopard gecko. But when we started breeding them, they started popping out out some really cool offspring. I mean, we've been doing these for the last maybe 3 to 4 years, and really some of the offspring are absolutely amazing, but it started really with animals that look just like this one. So here's one of the babies that actually came from the dark line, but this is actually a super snow version of the dark line. So it's pretty cool to mix the two dark animals together. Super snows are already pretty dark, obviously, but then you get that dark line and it just gives it a little bit more pattern. It gives it a little bit more oomph, and absolutely cool animals. Can't wait to see what these things look like when they get older. And then this is actually kind of a more classic example of that dark line, that really sooty, kind of chocolatey, really dark looking animal. Absolutely incredible. Love the pattern on it. Again, they have super dark eyes. I mean, just overall really cool. So again, we have high hopes for this project as we continue to work it, and over the next 5-6 years we might be able to come up with some pretty awesome offspring from this stuff. One of the things in the leopard gecko world people really love is crazy patterns, and this of course is a bold jungle, but it has this really bizarre patterning down its back, this kind of tic-tacky, almost like a highway down the road type of look. It's just really cool. So we're always going to hold on to these types of projects, raise them up, and hopefully one day we can actually reproduce animals that look just like this. So it's pretty cool. This is a kind of a fresh start for a brand new project that we're going to be working on here. This is another project that we just started working on a couple years ago. We're calling it the IMG because as a baby it kind of looked normal, and then as it got older it started increasing melanin, had these blotches of black pigment on it. We don't know if it's going to be inherent or not, have no clue. So we have a few of its offspring from this year for the very first time. They don't look that different, but hey, it's hopefully the start of something really cool because it's a really neat looking leopard gecko. That animal actually looked just like this as a baby, believe it or not. So we don't know if this is going to end up getting that increasing melanin gene or not, to be totally honest with you. But again, it looked just like this, and then at about a year old it started to really change a lot. So this is one of the offspring, so we're going to raise it up. Hopefully we'll see some changes here in the next 6-7 months, and maybe there'll be something genetic that we can breed out and actually prove this thing genetic. That would be pretty rad. Then this is definitely one of my favorites for sure. This is the Dalmatian project, where it literally looks like a Dalmatian dog. Again, it's just a white and yellow super snow that's just kind of reduced pattern, but the fact is it looks so cool with that white with those little black dots all over it. What a cute little face, huh? It's definitely a project I love. We've been producing these for the last few years. We're going to just keep on kind of refining it until we can release some of these here in the next couple of years. This little guy here is actually a sun glow tremper. So basically a sun glow is a super hypo tremper albino, and this one just has a lot of orange in it that just makes it look absolutely wonderful. I mean, that carrot tail is really cool. Again, that's a polygenically bred thing. So basically each generation you're breeding like orange animals, trying to get them more and more orange each time, and this one's going to turn out to be really good. When it comes to leopard geckos, I'm kind of prone to the dark stuff. I just think it's absolutely incredible, and this one has one of the craziest patterns I've ever seen on a leopard gecko. This is actually a Mac Snow Eclipse, but it's got a wild pattern. I mean, again, you just don't see the pattern jumbled up like that, and the contrast is keeping so good. A lot of times as leopard geckos get older, the contrast kind of fades a little bit, but this one is already getting some size to it, and it still looks absolutely breathtaking. I mean, this thing definitely top 5 leopard geckos that we own for sure, as far as I'm concerned. This is actually a really interesting color and pattern animal. This is actually a super hypo bell that has some bold stripe on it, but it doesn't have the orange. It's more yellowy with white on it, which I find pretty interesting. A lot of the bell stuff is pretty orange. This is kind of the opposite direction, which it makes it kind of unique and interesting. Definitely a really beautiful animal, and he's a squirmy little monkey. I seem to always highlight a lot of bell stuff because it's just so beautiful. This again is another bold bell, but you could just see the difference in these guys. Again, everyone is very unique. Some have more purple, some have more orange, some have more yellow like the one that we showed earlier. This is kind of a really classic wide stripe, bold pattern, striping down its back, but still has some of the orange in the carrot tail, still has that kind of overall bell look to it. So this one is definitely really beautiful. And again, as they get bigger, they hold it pretty well compared to a lot of other leopard geckos. So this is going to be gorgeous as an adult. As you guys know, the Reptarium is always expanding, and we're talking about doing 3.0 next door. And obviously where the leopard geckos are is not going to be there. It's going to be part of the Reptarium here if the expansion happens. The fact is that we did make room for them downstairs in the new colubrid room, also going to be a gecko room as well. So we're going to continue on working with leopard geckos because they really are truly amazing pets. We'll probably streamline a little bit and really work with projects that we're super excited about and continue to polygenically breed them, because with leopard geckos, the interesting thing is there's some incomplete dominant stuff, there's some recessive stuff, but a lot of it is actually polygenic, which is just line bred for cool things. So we're definitely going to kind of really refine our geckos over the next 12 to 18 months so that we're working with projects that are just rock star projects. But again, we're not going to stop working with leopard geckos because they really are amazing pet reptiles. Weirdly enough, I always say that I like the dark morph animals, but another one that I always love are the ones that are solid white. And again, this is actually a white and yellow super raptor, and you can just see those red eyes and that solid white body. There's just something about that is just so cool, because it's kind of almost like, reminds me of a black-eyed leucistic ball python or a black-eyed leucistic retic, but in a leopard gecko. But again, it's not really a leucistic because it's actually a white and yellow super raptor, but nevertheless, super awesome animal. This thing is awesome. It almost reminds me of like an ocelot or something like that. The pattern is so cool. It's just literally a crazy pattern jungle Mac Snow. That's all it's got going on. It does have Het Eclipse in it. It also has possible Het Blizzard in it, but look at the tail as well. I love the fact that the tail has that kind of white stripe down it. That looks really cool. And then, like I said, it's got that kind of ocelot pattern down its back. That is one cool animal. And that blue eyes, hoot dog, I tell you what, that thing is a ripper. I absolutely love this project that we're working on. This is actually just a Mac Snow white and yellow, but it's like a super hypo version of it. So it has like mainly white, which is a handful of dots. We've been working with these kind of Dalmatian-y animals like this that are absolutely incredible. Love the contrast. I mean, that thing is so cool. I love this animal. This little dude here is actually a Sunglow Raptor. Actually pretty cool. Now, a lot of raptors actually are patternless. That's what the P actually stands for. But there actually are some that aren't patternless, which is a little bit weird. This one's pretty much patternless with the exception of a little bit of dotting on its head. And again, you can breed this into some nice orange lines, and this thing is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And then this is actually a little Mac Snow Raptor as well. So you can see you add that Mac Snow to it, and it just changes the color tremendously. And we've had a lot of beautiful leopard geckos hatch this year. This is just a small portion of it, and I wanted you guys to get your leopard gecko fix. So we definitely showed you some of the highlights of 2020, but trust me, there are hundreds and hundreds more that we have that are absolutely ridiculous. Look how cute they are. So a bunch of you guys asked for a leopard gecko video. That was a leopard gecko vlog from start to finish. Hope that you enjoyed it. For those of you that love leopard geckos, you're gonna love it. For those of you that didn't like leopard geckos, well, I'm sorry. Tomorrow we'll do something different. But regardless, if you enjoyed this video, right here, you can see a playlist of a bunch of snakes if that's what you so choose. If you do me a favor right up here, can you subscribe to my podcast channel called Checking In? I hope you're subscribed to this vlog channel right over here. If you're not, please hit the subscribe. Turn all your post notifications on. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you tomorrow.